It's nice to see everyone. Like I said at the start of every retreat, like the main reason I'm here is because this geezer over here keeps talking to me and saying things to me, and now I'm sat here. There's some truth to that, but obviously Mitra, you're one of the first people I met at here. And Viranaga, actually, you were the first person. I think that's what I kind of want to speak to. I actually feel like a complete imposter after your talk, by the way, Theo. That was so heartfelt and personal. Mine's very like abstract, but yeah, no, I really appreciated your talk. But I was thinking last night after a long day in work, like typically, like what I want to talk about, and it kind of started to turn out like a bit of a justification for what I was doing, like a justification for Buddhism, a justification for doing it with this community. But then I thought, actually, that can be a rejoicing, and I am going to do that. I am going to justify and rejoice why I really love Buddhism and why I really love this community. But first of all, I really want to express my love for the fact that my parents are here. The Reapers are here. And Chris, a newcomer, emerging Reaper. Definitely already a Reaper, but the co-reaping yet to come. And I just, one of the main qualities I want to focus on with Triratna and this particular movement of Buddhism, because I have been exposed to different forms of Buddhism, is the relational quality. Because I think we're relational beings, and I think that's forgotten about a little bit in the West, that we can take sort of strands of Buddhism and take practices and kind of do it as another to-do list and become harder, better, faster, stronger, which is all well and good. But I think I wrote about in the little Why I'm Becoming a Mitra that, you know, if you want to learn anything or do anything well, you need colleagues, you need people with varying levels of experience. So I feel like to learn any craft or any art form, it's just really important. And I remember when I said to Maitranara, like when we had the chat about being a Mitra, I immediately was like, I want to invite my parents and I want to invite my friends. And his reaction kind of said it all for me. His face lit up and he loved it. You were just like, that's really good. Because a part of this practice, I feel, is not about separating from family and friends. It's about how can you enrich your life that you've got, how can you be more grateful for the life that you've got. And at the end of the day, the dark times that I've been through, it's been my family and friends that have been there for me. So I love the fact that this practice is very much an inclusive, how can I actually show up in the kind of messiness of the conditions that I've inherited and the life that I've already got. So that's a little bit about sort of why I really love this approach. In terms of like Buddhism, I guess like, I don't want to speak to that because I guess I'm saying I'm a Buddhist. I feel like I've not fully mentioned that to my parents. I'm kind of coming a Buddhist, coming out as a Buddhist. Because I was like, they're saying, I was like, oh, did I actually tell them that? I'm not sure. But now you know. But I guess like the main thing that I'm becoming a Buddhist is that for number one, I feel that it works. The practices work, and I can say that from my own experience in terms of alleviating suffering, in terms of feeling more blissful, joyful, and open, etc., etc. I feel like it works for me. I have worked in mental health and in psychology for the last 10 years, and I've watched clinical psychology and psychology generally going Buddhist, which is quite interesting. So I'm kind of watching kind of psychology, taking the palatable bits of it and kind of taking it under the, kind of like swooping it under the carpet sort of thing and taking bits of it. And it just seems like science is now validating a lot of these approaches, the bits that are measurable. So I feel, I'm kind of like, this stuff works. This stuff really works. These techniques work. And I was listening to a talk by Subhuti. I mean, he's my new hero at the moment. I was Pranayagosha for a while, and Subhuti. Sorry, so actually, it's not, you were great. Sorry, I'm getting you mixed up. Your talk, you have been recently in the meditation retreat, but I've got you mixed up with Yanavacha, because he's your teacher. Yanavacha. There's not enough of you online yet. Like going to sleep listening to teachers. But he was mentioning that in the House of Parliament is now the Houses of Parliament, is that what it's called? They've got mindfulness practices, and it ranging from like Labour to Conservative to UKIP. They're all on board with mindfulness, and I thought that was quite amazing. You know, they're like all on board with that. So wouldn't be surprised if the royal family are getting involved in the side of things. And King Charles, hopefully he did his Metta Bhavana, cultivating loving kindness speech, you know. And even if he didn't, King Charles may be happy, maybe free from suffering. Yeah. And yeah, I did. Good student. So that's why kind of Buddhism appeals to me, because I think it works. But in terms of Triratna, I'm relatively recent as well, like Theo. Like my Trinara gets you quick, like, doesn't he? You are friendly, you got But like, yeah, I came across this place a year and a half ago. It must be about a year and a half ago, and it feels so much longer than that. And since I've come across these people and this place, I've experienced more love. And I think Alex, like, you spoke to that. You said it in one of your videos, and we spoke about it at Foxton's, that like it's very easy to criticize Western culture and this and that, and this is going wrong. But one thing that we could do more of is have more love. And there's a bit of cringe that, isn't there, that word love? But especially in a Reaper from Belfast. But there, you know, I think I've experienced that. I've experienced a lot of love. And yeah, we went on retreat to Al Foxton's, which was absolutely amazing. There's a great story. It's like William Wordsworth's old house was bought by someone connected with Triratna. There's a really amazing story. And I had a retreat there, and it was amazing. Pranayagosha and Mitra, it was like a real honour just to hear your teachings and do the practice together, and it was really special. And I came away from that in a really good space. And you know, I think this is like a key marker of spiritual development, right? I came home, I had a full week of work and like faced everything, but the real markers, I got all my admin done, which has never happened before, like getting my admin done. So that was like, I'm not actually joking, like that for me is a spiritual breakthrough. That has never happened. Like that has always just been a complete mess. So yeah, I guess I'm summarizing that, like, yeah, I experienced a lot of joy and benefits to my well-being. And I guess like finally I wanted to mention the study group as well. Like I'm so glad to see you guys from the study group. And that's been amazing. And like I was just saying to mum and dad before, we really do just sit there and like there's 10 lads and we just give Mitra and Amaladana, we're just throwing all sorts at them. This isn't resonating with us, this doesn't make sense, all the doubt and everything. But it's I really love, like I really get so much from those evenings. So it's really special to me actually. I think, yeah. So I guess I feel like the people here, like I guess I've spent the last 10 years of my life without really choosing to, helping sort of alleviating suffering, my own suffering, other people's suffering. And I feel like the people here are doing a really good job of that. And for me, I'm getting a lot of benefit, and I'm sure that's benefiting who I'm sort of around. So I want to help out. I feel like it's a real honour to be a part of this community, and I want to be more involved, and that's what I'm doing. So yeah, thank you very much.